You're listening to the Biohackers World podcast.
I'm Dallas from Lifespanning Magazine here at Biohackers World in lovely Miami. I'm here with the lovely Dr. Ash Sogol. Dr. Ash, could you please explain what it is you do and why it is you do it?
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Sogol Ash. I'm a functional medicine and longevity expert. So I do everything from functional medicine and longevity, but really, it spans more than just preventative medicine. It's really also root cause illness. So I deal with a lot of chronic illness. A lot of patients come to me having seen 12 different doctors and nobody can figure out what's wrong with them. That's what I'm really good at, is getting to the bottom of it and understanding the root cause and helping them heal and then live a better life.
So what makes you different when these people come to you that have seen 12 different options before? Like, how do you get past that barrier that maybe they put in front of themselves? Like, who's going to help me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just my training is different. So being trained in naturopathic medicine and functional medicine, you're trained to see the body as a whole, not just as parts. And I'm also trained in just different kinds of testing and different kinds of things that allow me to get to the bottom of it versus, unfortunately, a lot of doctors, they see a symptom and then they try to find a diagnosis, right? Or if the symptoms or the set of symptoms doesn't match a diagnosis, then it goes to a diagnosis of exclusion or something psychiatric, take an antidepressant. And these patients have real symptoms. They're tired, they're exhausted, They can't get out of bed, heart palpitations, you name it, muscle pain. So I see all of those connected rather than other doctors seeing, one thing here and one thing there.
That makes sense. It's weird because I feel like the paradigm of modern medicine for a lot of people is they get referred to different specializations of doctors. And it's good to know a lot about a little, but it's also good to know a little about a lot, which I think with your training, you can kind of appreciate that approach. I'm sure you know a lot about the body and everything, but you know a lot about different little parts that all work together to mold the whole health of the person.
Yeah. I hope I know a lot about a lot. That's the goal. Right. But yes.
But you know what I mean? Like just
exactly.
knowing like different pieces to put together so you can kind of paint a more clear picture.
Yeah, and patients really appreciate it. They appreciate, I think the other thing that's different is having the time to listen to them.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last night at dinner that, the average doctors can spend 6 minutes with a patient in America.
That's a big problem.
My average is 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So in that time, I get to really hear a patient's story. And I'm creating a timeline. I'm asking questions, from birth until now to understand their full picture, because all of that matters when you're trying to solve a case.
Right. And not just from a physical sense, but mental, spiritual, like you have to kind of come at it from all angles to really improve it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what makes, I think, functional medicine and naturopathic medicine so beautiful.
Yeah. What's the most exciting thing you see in today's world of functional and integrative medicine?
I think the excitement around it is really exciting for me. Just everyone kind of wanting it. The demand is really exciting for me, that so many people, like, their eyes are more open to it now and they're seeking a different kind of medicine. That's really exciting for me. We've never had this much, I think, attention around it.
Yeah.
Social media has been helpful for it. I think AI is exciting too. I don't think it can ever replace a doctor, but it's exciting because people who maybe can't afford someone like me can still do labs and get an AI report and still have guidance.
Some guidance, yeah, that's true. So in this space, we see kind of a bridge of ancestral wisdom, getting back to the basics, and also like the newer technologies that are helping us, hack our biology or get ourselves into the right homeostasis of health. In each of those areas, like, what do you think you would like tell somebody to try and focus on or, explore if they're looking to improve their overall health?
Yeah. So with the ancestral, right, or I call it the foundations of health. You can never get away from the foundations of health. You can do all these amazing biohacking kind of tools and technologies, do the red light, do all that. But if you're not focusing on the foundations of health, you're missing 80% of it, right? And that means eating an anti-inflammatory diet, sleeping, optimizing your sleep is so underrated.
Yeah.
Stress, getting your stress under control, having a sacred morning practice to set your day up. That's when we talk about the spiritual as well. Whatever that is, I tell people you have to set your day up because you're setting your hormones up for the day too. You're setting your cortisol up. You're setting your mindset. Exercise. So, right, those few things, the foundations, can't get away from that. If you start there and you optimize those, you're really 80% of the way there. And then in the more modern things, everyone wants to know about peptides and NAD. And those are some of my favorite things, but you don't need all of it.
Right.
Start, choose one or two things. Choose, I would say focus on what are your main goals and then start there.
Yeah.
Choose one peptide. Maybe start with NAD. Optimize your mitochondria. You can never go wrong by optimizing your mitochondria, which NAD is going to help with.
Yeah.
So you don't need everything. I always say just choose a couple things.
You're so right. And without focusing on those fundamental pillars, and then trying maybe going straight to the NAD or straight to the peptides or straight to this advanced technology, you kind of do a discredit to what it's really worth, because it does work and it does help maybe. But if you're just living in this toxic state, what are you really going to, get out of it as much? And you're maybe going to give up on it too easily.
Exactly. And then people tell me, well, I don't feel it, or why isn't it working? And I'm like, well, you're not doing all the other things.
Right.
And I use it therapeutically. So if someone's chronically ill, I'll bring in NAD and certain peptides very early on, but the body also has to be ready to receive these things, or it's only going to respond better if you're optimizing those foundations of health.
You have to prepare the body, right? To try those new things.
Prepare it, or you could do it simultaneously as long as you're working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. With a clear plan and some guidance from someone that knows a lot, like yourself, of course. So
a lot about a lot.
Exactly. That's the phrase to take away from today. So talking a little bit about chronic disease then, what type of chronic diseases do you work with mostly? And is there a root cause that you could maybe put forth as this is the main thing that is wrong with a lot of people that are suffering with these chronic diseases?
For sure. I'll see a constellation of symptoms. I won't always see a diagnosis. Some people come to me with a diagnosis of like different kinds of autoimmune disease, or they'll just say, oh, like lifelong IBS, lifelong chronic fatigue.
Sure.
Can't get out of bed. No matter how much I sleep, I don't feel well. And I see it. I usually find root causes in toxins. So I find mold toxicity, heavy metal toxicity, pesticides. Those are usually the underlying foundations that I find.
Yeah.
And then that's what also leads to the gut being disrupted, and then the hormones being disrupted, and then the circadian rhythm being disrupted, the adrenal glands, the exhaustion. It's not always toxins, but usually they're a factor. And then I'll see it combined with certain things like genetics. I love to run genetic panels because it also gives people with chronic illness an answer. It's like, oh, hey, you were genetically primed for this, and then you got hit with toxins, or you had these, obstacles that just all of that together is going to create the perfect storm for these symptoms to come. Another one is long COVID. I see that a lot. I see COVID disrupting the entire body. It dysregulates the immune system, the nervous system. It creates so much inflammation that someone who otherwise was fine, then it triggers everything.
Sure. And do you think that sometimes with the modern pharmaceutical industry now, like by so much money being behind it and a lot of intentions, that sometimes we create more problems for ourselves by trying to just mask the symptom?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Modern medicine is incredible when it's needed, at right place, right time. I'm not going to be your surgeon, right? I'm not going to be your ER doctor. But yeah, like taking an anti-inflammatory when there's acute inflammation, there's a reason for that acute inflammation. It's healing. Right. Or if someone's taking anti-inflammatories, people come to me, I take Tylenol PM every night, and then their liver is suffering and they wonder why.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to mask symptoms, or you're just trying to get to sleep. They come to me with 3 different sleep medications, heavy medications. All of these have effects.
Yeah.
So I'm really a fan of right place, right time. I prescribe medication when it's needed.
Yeah.
I also just have so many other tools in the toolbox.
You touched on something I want to bring up. So there's like a stress that comes, or a challenge that comes with trying new things or trying new protocols and things like that. And people are very likely to say in a lot of today's world that stress is bad. Stay away from stress, stay away from stress. And in a sense, that's true, but it's like, that's more like chronic or heavy or traumatic stress. But we need some of those stressful things to move into that place that makes us uncomfortable to grow, right? So with your approach, are there like specific examples you would like love to share about how you help convince them to get into this stressful state that's a good stressful state for them to grow?
I love that you asked that. Yeah, because I'm all about stress resilience. When I speak to founders and CEOs, I always tell them we're not going to be able to get rid of our stress, right? Stress is always going to be there. So
Sure.
how do you help your body better adapt to that stress? And our bodies are built to adapt to stress.
Yes.
So some good stressors, contrast therapy. So I'm not the biggest fan of cold plunge for everyone. It depends who it's for. I love doing, for most people, contrast is best. Alternating hot and cold, those are good stressors. Exercise, pushing your body, good stressor.
Yeah.
With guidance though, because if you overdo it, then there's the whole, you're messing with your cortisol and your hormones.
Yeah.
So again, everything should be personalized, but those are a couple good stressors. The more you can have some of these good stressors, the more stress resilient you become. Meditation, breath work, doing these things for long periods of time, all of that's going to help your stress resilience. But I'm a big fan of putting your body through good stress, not extreme stress.
So what's your favorite form of stress for yourself then?
Exercise.
Exercise is good.
Yeah, pushing myself, building more muscle or pushing myself. I do like really intense, like reformer Pilates. And have you ever done it?
Not reformer Pilates. No.
Okay.
I've done Pilates.
Okay.
I don't know what reformer is.
I do intense reformer Pilates, and men come to the class and they think they're strong, and then they're like, "What is this?" You're
gosh.
Holding positions. It's a lot of focus on your core. It's one of my favorite things. So I love pushing myself more with exercise. Okay. And then, how much longer? I don't think meditation's a stressor, but I think certain kinds of breath work can be a bit stressful on the body too. So kind of finding the right balance, but I would say exercise.
And if there's one thing you could not take out of your daily routine just to keep yourself feeling like you are still yourself, what would that be?
Morning meditation.
Morning meditations.
Yeah, morning practice. Even I average 20 minutes. Even if there's days where I can only do like 6 or 7 minutes, it's just grounding myself for the day. And I try to do it outside in morning light to regulate cortisol. There's 2 things. It's that and my green tea. I make loose leaf green tea every day because it's full of antioxidants. Nice. Those are probably the 2 things I can't cut out of my life.
And that's before looking at the phone, before looking at screens and stuff. You just try to start your day like that.
I really try.
Yeah.
I try. I mean, I'm not perfect.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I do look at my phone sometimes, but yes, ideally I try not to look at my phone, or if, I'll see my phone, but I'm not going to I don't open my emails in the morning. I'll see work emails come in or my team is pinging me. They know I won't respond until I've done kind of my morning practice, unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, I've been trying to set the habit of cutting my router off at night and like just putting my phone in airplane mode, leaving it outside the room and everything. So it's
have you noticed any differences?
I have actually. Like, I think the sleep is a little bit deeper and I'm able to get up a little faster rather than like kind of crawl out of bed sometimes. So I think it helps. And it's just better. I have 3 young kids, so to be fully present with them instead of like thinking about a work email or something that just came through because I checked my phone first. It's a nice change of strategy throughout the day. It sets the tone.
Foundations of health. Very powerful.
Very true. Last question then. For someone that is maybe at the end of the line or out of hope, what would you tell them to help get them on track to taking control of their health and their future?
You're not alone. So many people are dealing with chronic illness or just not feeling well or even just weight gain, whatever that is. You're not alone. Find someone to help advocate for you.
Very good.
I always say there's nothing we can't improve. Patients come to me. I'm treating patients with Parkinson's. Like they come to me, can't even walk. We do virtual sessions or I go to them. They're starting to walk. There's nothing we can't improve.
There's always hope.
Always hope. If you work on some of the things we talked about, things are always going to get better.
Yeah.
But I think it's also really important to find someone to advocate for you because it's not, my patients come to me, they're consuming all this information, podcasts and social media. It's not their job to know that. It's not their job to figure out the plan for their body. That's my job. Yeah. So find someone to help take the burden off of you.
Right. That's a good point, to help discern and shift through what's real and what's not real too.
It's not like if I have an attorney, it's not my job to know, that's his job.
Yeah,
and it takes a weight off of me, or even a medical specialist, a gynecologist, whatever it is. Let people, take the burden off so that you can just focus on healing your body.
Amazing. I love the way you said that. Well, Dr. Ash, I would love to continue this conversation more and talk more, but how can people find out more about you and what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the longevity director for ConciergeMD. So it's ConciergeMDLA.com. We're a nationwide concierge practice. And then on social media, I'm really active at Dr. Sogol Ash.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you again. This is Dallas from Lifespanning Magazine here at Biohackers World in Miami. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
I'm already looking forward to the next events in 2026, Los Angeles and to Chicago and to New York. And I know in January after there's going to be Miami as well.